Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So on Friday this week, we're going to know exactly how much the next Social Security increase is going to be, as the Social Security Administration is going to be announcing the cost of living adjustment for 2026. So in today's video, we are going to be breaking down the projections and how much of an increase you should expect to receive, whether you receive retirement benefits, whether you receive SSI benefits, or whether you receive disability benefits. We're going to be covering how much you can expect to receive for your increase next year in 2026 if current projections hold true. But before we go ahead and dive into for today, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so before we get into the cost of living adjustment increase and how much you can expect to receive, whether you receive retirement benefits, SSI benefits, or disability benefits in 2026, first off, we're going to be covering this story by CBS News where they break down the biggest mistake that certain Social Security beneficiaries make and how you can fix this mistake or keep it from happening. So according to CBS News, they said that 90% of Americans plan to skip the number one piece of Social Security advice study finds. So we're covering what the study is finding, what Americans are skipping out on, and how you can actually receive more for your Social Security benefits. So once again, according to CBS News, 9 in 10 working Americans say they plan to ignore one of the most common pieces of financial advice about Social Security, waiting until age 70 to claim benefits, which ensures higher monthly payments, according to a new study from investment firm Schroders. Social Security allows employees to claim their benefits as soon as they turn 62 years before the so-called full retirement age, which now stands as 67. But claiming Social Security early has a trade-off. It lowers your monthly payment by about 30% with those lower benefits locked in for the rest of your life. By contrast, delaying claiming Social Security until age 70 means you'll get a more than 30% boost in your monthly check, also locked in as long as you're collecting benefits. As a result, financial experts often recommend that seniors hold off as long as they can, with one study finding that filing early for benefits can cost $182,000 in foregone payments. So $182,000 is a lot of money, even over a lifetime, to miss out on by claiming at the age of 62, as opposed to waiting a few more years all the way until the age of 70. Although, of course, for some people, it's not going to make sense, or it's not even possible to delay claiming until the age of 70. So for instance, if you get like permanently injured and you're not able to continue working, a lot of people are forced into, unfortunately, claiming Social Security benefits as early as possible, which in this case is the age of 62. So not everyone has the luxury of waiting all the way until the age of 70. Plus, a lot of people are fearful right now that Social Security may not be around if they wait a few more years. We're having different studies out there that they're going to be going, quote, bankrupt, which is actually insolvent, by the year of 2032 or 2033 if nothing is done. Now, it's not actually going to be going bankrupt. You're still going to receive some sort of check, but what they are going to have to do if Congress does not act is they are going to have to cut benefits for everyone across the board by anywhere between 19 to 26%, which means that you could have your benefits cut by maybe $500 or more dollars every single month. This would be very, very substantial. Now, they go on here to say that the Schroders 2025 U.S. retirement survey suggests that many Americans who haven't yet retired aren't buying that advice. In the survey of 1,500 adults, most respondents say they understand the trade-offs of claiming early, but only 10% plan to wait until the age of 70, while 44% expect to file for benefits before they reach their full retirement age. Now, with that said, leave your thoughts and comments below. Did you plan on waiting until the age of 70? Did you have a plan to collect them as early as possible at 62? Are you maybe waiting until your full retirement age of either 66 or 67 or somewhere in between? Leave your thoughts and comments below on that. Now, they also mentioned here that many retirees are facing a shortfall in their own retirement savings, a financial gap that's been well documented as a growing share of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Many workers, quote, need the income generated by Social Security to meet their expenses immediately upon retiring, Boyden noted. And there's also another reason, as I just mentioned, why many Americans plan on claiming their Social Security benefits before reaching their full retirement age. She added, that's due to concerns about the future of Social Security, which is fueling concerns that the money may not be there if they wait. Now, once again, even if Social Security does go insolvent, there's still going to be money there. There's always going to be money flowing into the Social Security Trust Fund as long as American workers are being taxed. Remember, whenever you're working as an employee, out of each paycheck, you have 6.2% tax that goes into the trust fund. Your employer matches that, so your employer is also matching the 6.2%. So out of each paycheck, you have 12.4% of your total paycheck being taxed that goes into the trust fund. So there's always going to be money flowing into the trust fund. So Social Security is never going to be going bankrupt, but they may not have enough money there to pay out 100% of what you should be receiving, although you might have to end up receiving only, let's say, 75 to 80% of what you should be receiving for your Social Security benefit if they do have to cut benefits across the board by, let's say, like 25%. Now, as far as the Social Security increase goes, we are going to have an automatic cost of living adjustment coming up. It should have actually been announced a few days earlier, back on October 15th, but because the government is shut down, the Bureau of Labor Statistics did take a little bit longer to come up with the inflation numbers for the month of September. Those are going to be released on Friday, October 24th, so we do have that to look forward to, although we already have a really good idea of how much the COLA is going to be for 2026, at least according to the Senior Citizens League, as well as Mary Johnson. They're estimating anywhere between 2.7 to 2.8%. I think it's probably going to be 2.8%. So if we use those numbers, we're going to break down how much you can expect to receive next year in 2026 if you receive retirement benefits, if you receive SSI benefits, or if you receive disability benefits. We're going to be breaking down all those numbers in just a second. But first, according to the Motley Fool, Social Security's 2026 cost of living adjustment will get a, quote, Trump bump. Here's what to expect and why it might disappoint millions. So Social Security beneficiaries will have to wait a few extra days for this year's COLA announcement. The government shutdown delayed the final CPI report needed to determine the exact increase for next year's benefits until October 24th, when we do get the official COLA. However, it's expected to be much higher than analysts anticipated at the start of the year. Retirees can thank President Donald Trump for that, but there are some important developments that could make that bigger COLA a disappointment for many households, and Trump is to thank for that as well. So first off, the Trump bump set to hit Social Security's COLA. So analysts currently expect another considerable raise for Social Security benefits in 2026. The Senior Citizens League expects the Social Security Administration to announce a 2.7% COLA. Independent analyst Mary Johnson, on the other hand, sees it coming in slightly higher, as well as do I, higher at 2.8%, as does the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. So you can see up on the screen here, what would that mean for retirees? What would that mean for SSDI beneficiaries? And finally, what would that mean for SSI beneficiaries in 2026? Well, the average benefit, according to ChatGPT, for retirees is right around $1,976. So with a 2.8% increase, that would be an increase of right around $55.33 per month. That would then boost that up to right around $2,031 a month. So it would be an increase on an annual basis of $664 per year. As far as SSDI beneficiaries go, the average benefit, according once again to ChatGPT, is $1,580 per month. There would be an increase of $44.24 per month, with an estimated increase of 2.8%. That would bring the benefit on a monthly basis up to $1,624 a month. So on a yearly basis, you would receive $531 more per year. And then finally, for SSI recipients, the average benefit, once again, according to ChatGPT, is $697 per month with a 2.8% boost. That would jump those up to by $19.52 more per month. That would be $716.50 would be your new monthly benefit, and then that would be an annual increase of $234 per year. So with that said, leave your thoughts and comments below. What would you think about that increase? Now, of course, another thing that we need to keep in mind are those Medicare Part B premiums. Those are also going to be jumping next year in 2026. As you can see, they are looking like they're going to be jumping up to right around $206.50 in 2026. That is going to be an increase of $21.50 per month. Now, last year, the Medicare Part B premium was announced on November 8th. So we can expect at some point in early November this year, perhaps, we're also going to know the final numbers for the Medicare Part B premium. But again, it is expected to jump quite a bit, at least right around 10 to 12%. So it looks like it's going to be right around the figures of, maybe $200 to $210 at the very most. But we'll have to wait and see. Of course, the Medicare Part B premium is going to be deducted pretty much from whatever your cost of living adjustment is going to be. So if your cost of living adjustment is going to be increasing by $50 per month, but your Medicare Part B premium is also going to be jumping up by $20 per month. That pretty much brings your net increase down to just $30 a month. So once again, leave your thoughts and comments below. Are you optimistic about next year in 2026 with a cost of living adjustment of either 2.7 or 2.8%? But that's all we have for today's video, and I will see you in the next one.